Hey everybody, it's Ryan Brown here with Alpha Laser and Imaging. We've worked with a lot of different manufacturers over the years, and what we've learned is that they all have a lot of different technologies to make things easier for everybody. But the problem is that none of them have a good way to bring these tools to dealers like us here at Alpha Laser, where we can then bring them to decision makers like you in a way that it's really digestible. We've worked, really hard over the last couple of years to create this plan to help you manage the cost of your information. And that plan is this. One, we want to simplify the user experience. Two, we want to increase your organizational uptime at a low cost of IT resources. Three, we want to develop a plan to manage the cost of your consumables and usage. And four, we want to help you maintain security. Now, we could talk about this all day, but let me just show you what I'm talking about. All right, so if you look at how print looks today, and just to give you some history on print, is the last time Microsoft updated their print management functions within their operating systems was 1993 with Windows NT. And since then, they've only made minor changes, but the overall way that it's managed is still identical to what it was in 1993. Microsoft also uses the most universal print language, PCL, which hasn't been updated since 1995, and Apple hasn't updated PostScript since 2003. So when you think about all the technological advances we've made in the last 25 years, we're not talking about cutting edge technology. So nowadays, when you hit file print, this is what most people see. They have several printers, and each printer is different where it has a different set of properties. And the reason for that is each manufacturer has its own way that it thinks print should look. So this is how Canon thinks printers should look. And if you notice here, we've got 100 different settings, and then you go to the next page and we've got another, 20 settings and so on and so forth. So we've got a lot of different settings here, advanced settings for a lot of things that most people are never, ever going to use. Okay, so now they can say, the manufacturer can say they have a print that looks better, or maybe their driver can help you avoid problems or whatever it is, but that really doesn't help you manage print in any way. And, the reality is what you care about and expect is that you want what's on your screen to be burnt onto a piece of paper and to look fairly close to what it did on the computer screen in a reasonable amount of time. And that's what most people want. So what we can do is get rid of all these millions of different options and give you what's called a universal print interface. So instead of having to, five tabs of different settings for things most likely you'll never use, we've got them all boiled down to this one set, this one sheet. And this one sheet includes what's called the Universal Pcl Command Set. So what this means is every printer that supports PCL, and remember, PCL hasn't been updated since 1995, so the majority of printers out there support PCL, this driver will work with it. So it doesn't matter if it's a Canon printer, a Ricoh, Gestetner, Samsung, Brother, Xerox, doesn't matter one bit. And what this means is once we put this in place and your users learn this, whatever you do from the hardware side doesn't ever impact them again. So if you get a new printer or you add another printer, they don't have to learn anything new. It's the same interface, so we've made it very easy for users. So not only have we made it easy for users, but we made it easy on IT because IT doesn't have to keep redistributing new print drivers. They can just keep using the same driver because this one driver will let you redirect to any printer you have connected. So, you pick all your options and you hit print. So what happens now, instead of having to figure out the right output queue on a computer and send it to the right physical printer somewhere in your environment, you'll get this little pop-up that says, hey, where do you want that print to go? Now I can send it to a secure queue, and I'll make it a little bigger here, but I can send it to a secure queue where it will hold, and I can go up to any connected machine and release it, or it can go directly to a printer, like I've always done. So these two printers, these direct print queues, basically emulate what Microsoft and Apple and all the major OS providers, have out there now. This just adds this one capability, say, hey, I don't know when I'm going to go get this job, so let's go ahead and throw it on the secure queue of the service, and, I'll go pick it up whenever I'm ready. So now when I say it's a service, it's a web service, so it's a cloud service. So instead of having it being stored on a print server and, IT or whoever having to manage everything around that Microsoft print server, I can have it on this very slim web service. And I'll show you what that looks like here next. So, what else can we do with that? So if we're going to replace something and bring in new technology, hopefully we're going to make it better, right? And the answer to that's yes. So this is a little portal for print. This is my personal portal for print. Notice my name's up at the top here, and I've got a little dashboard and start printing tab. So a couple different things here, but we'll just focus on the start printing piece. So that driver I just showed you in Word, right, comes from here, right? So it's a really simple installation. So if you wanted to outsource the management of print onto users, right, you could do that. So users could log in, grab their driver, they click this button, hit next, 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 enter their online account information, and boom, they're ready to go. But we've also got a couple different ways that people can print, right? So we've got a drag and drop queue here, right? So I can drag files directly into this queue. I can send via email, right? So if I attach a document to this email address and send it to the queue, it'll just be in the queue ready for me to release. And I can do both of these with up to 200 different file types, right? Here's the list of file types right here. One thing while I'm on this help screen here, I always like to talk about is there's contextual help. So whenever I hit the help button for any page that I'm on, like I did just here, help, it's going to bring up the pertinent help topics for the page that I'm on rather than just, give me a table of contents of information I need to sift through. So that's kind of nifty. So jump out of here. We've also got a mobile app, which allows you to have a dashboard. It gives you an idea of your personal printing. Lets you access your cloud services on your phone or the files that are on your phone, as well as photos, or you can take a picture and send it to the queue. And then you can access the queue itself, to see the jobs you have available. And then we've got a Chrome extension as well. So if you have Chromebooks in your environment and want to use Chromebook printing, you can certainly do that also. So what we've done here, really, you've got the ability to support the historical way that most people file print. We've got a universal interface, so it doesn't care what brand of printer you're using. We've got that one printer object that sits on your desktop, which is this right here. So it doesn't matter, if I've got one printer or 5 printers, I'll be able to access them all through this single interface. IT doesn't have to install 5 drivers. If there's 5 printers, they just install the one. From there we can extend and support browser drop plugins for uploading print jobs. We've got the email to print workflow, the mobile app, and then the Chrome extension. So we've been able to not only replace what Microsoft has, but been able to extend it. So that's the user side on the portal. So I'll go ahead and jump into the machine itself so you can see what that looks like, because I like to go through that quickly too. So this is a Canon C5840, which is a color 40 page per minute DX series model. Solid machine. Notice there's a couple options here for secure print and scan. And so if I go hit secure print, what it does, it asks me for the code. If I go back here to the dashboard, I can show you, my code here is 0290, right? So I go on, if I put my code in, hit OK, and what it does is pulls up the jobs that I have available in the secure queue. Now, keep in mind, if I hit one of those direct print queues, like I mentioned a while ago, it'll just, automatically print like it's always done. But if I hit the secure queue, it shows me my jobs as it looks right here. So I got a couple different jobs here. So I'll run through what this is real quickly. So if you notice here, this is a black and white document, letter format, 1 page, 1 copy. So I can select this job. I can print and keep, print and delete, but I also have options, right? So if I get to the machine and decide, oh, well, I needed to make that a color copy, or maybe I wanted to staple that, I could do that as well. So here, I'll go ahead and select color. I want to make this a color document. I'm going to make it 5 pages. So as you can see down here, I got print and delete, print and keep. But here I'm just going to set my options. And now that's been changed to a color document, so I can release it or keep it or whatever I wanted to do with it. Okay, so there's the regular side of that. And then also, we have cloud print, through the secure print app here. So I've got some options here. I don't have all of them pulled up, but you get the idea. So I get access to my cloud services. So whether I'm using Google Drive or OneDrive or Teams or Box or Dropbox, any of these cloud services, I actually get full access to my personal, cloud service account, in file folder structure, to be able to select jobs that are in my cloud folders and then print them. Okay, so kind of nifty there. And then we go to the scan side of that, which scan is just print backwards. So, we've also can scan directly into these cloud services as well. There's a lot of different scan profiles that we can add in. I've only got a few of them here, but you kind of get the idea here. There's a scan to Dropbox, scan to OneDrive, scan to myself. That's a nifty little, scan to email. So it scans to email, the email account that's attached to, this account, which is this email right here. And it'll just send me an email. There is my filing assist, which is kind of a cool little workflow, to help people with their files. So if you wanted to, say, drop 50 documents into the document feeder and it to automatically separate those files and automatically create folders for those files and the file, not only the file folder structure, but also the the naming convention on the file itself, we can do that too. So not going to get too far into that, but you get the idea. And so that's pretty much it for scan and print. Any of the outgoing scans on any of the MFPs, we would use the scan and send app. And I'll just excuse me, I'll show you quickly what that looks like. So I've got Jane Doe here, at alphalaser.com. So if I wanted to send an outgoing email to Jane Doe with a scan attached, I can do that. But yeah, so that's pretty much it there. So one other thing I like to talk about is really kind of the structure behind all this, because a lot of times people don't love the tools that we're showing but don't want to manage any of it, and that's where we came up with this solution here, where customers can really choose how they want to go about all this. So if you want to stick with 1995 printing and keep everything the same as you've always done, right? So just the machine itself, no software, you can certainly do that, right? So we still provide a parts, labor, and toner contract. We can still automate supplies, and we'll still give you the service that you've always seen from us. But if you do want some of the software here that I've showed, we have Alpha Basic and Alpha Pro. What Alpha Basic is, the difference between these two is Alpha Basic means we're going to provide the equipment and everything, as we always would. We're going to provide the fleet management software. We're going to install it for you. If you have Office 365 or Google Workspace, we're going to, integrate that directly into Uniflow Online, this tool that we're using here, to make it very, very easy for single sign-on purposes and all that. And you get all of the features that we just showed you. The caveat to Alpha Basic is that once we install it and get it ready, all of the management of that service is on the customer. It's all on you to manage that. So, the good news is a lot of times a power user could manage these things because it's really not a hard software to manage. But yeah, so, or, we have full service, which is Alpha Pro, where we provide the equipment, and parts, labor, toner contract as always, all of the software behind it that we just showed. But we provide all, the add-on here is really just all the print and scan help desk support, and it's fully managed. So anytime you have an issue with print and scan, all that stuff gets sent directly to us, and we manage all that for you. So we provide all the reporting on the back end as well. So, so that's full service. So thanks so much for watching. As you can see, again, we've worked really hard to make this, easy for users, increase your uptime at a low cost of IT resources, help you manage the cost of consumables and usage, and then maintain security. If you'd like to, for us to dive deeper into any of this, or maybe you want to see the administrative side of the service, or you want to see pricing or anything like that, please reach out to your account rep or just give us a call at 812-475-1644. Again, thanks again. You have a great day.